I've seen a lot of people have interest in the analog FPGA consoles that are out there. Most of them you can't even get right now. There's people who want to get the Mega SG, the Super NT, the NT Mini. They're just trying to get a Pocket pre-order, but even, Frodo couldn't get a Pocket pre-order. And then they're going to be putting out the Analog Duo, the TurboGrafx PC Engine with CD support in the near future. Who knows if they'll only have like 2 or 3 of those up. You miss out on these. It's kind of like, man, will they ever restock them? But the one thing I always wonder about is I see a lot of people talking about wanting these consoles specifically for the jailbreak aspect of it, to be able to sideload ROMs on an SD card. And while that's great, I've covered all this stuff in the past in numerous videos as far as those products and jailbreaks go. I look at that as kind of like a bonus to it, but some people, they just want these consoles just to do that. And I think it's time we circle back around and take a look at MiSTer one more time. So I've covered MiSTer quite a bit on my channel in the past. I've done tutorials, testing things out, all that good stuff. And I think there's a lot of new eyes on my channel lately that may not be familiar with what MiSTer FPGA is. So this is a community-driven project. Now, the one that I'm using today is from ultimatemister.com. He does put together full-on packages where you don't have to worry about sourcing all the parts. You get this thing ready to go. So take a look. I think I'll have a coupon code that he's provided so you can get a little bit of money off if you're interested. Take a look. But what I wanted to talk about and look at today is what does this thing do? What is the value behind it? So with this, plugging it in through HDMI, there's tons of different output options depending on, what kind of IO board you get. But me personally, I just want HDMI. I want to plug this thing in and go. All the different systems that this supports, when you compare that to what the analog systems do, I really do think if that's all you want is FPGA implementation of these old school consoles, which is simulating the hardware. It's, a different form of emulation. I don't want to get in that whole debate, but it's not software emulation. It's simulating the actual chips from that hardware with the FPGA. So you get a higher level of accuracy, that kind of thing. It's a different animal, but at the same time, it doesn't matter how you play your games. Some people are gonna be fine just playing on, one of these classic consoles that have come out, like the Super Nintendo Classic Edition, a Pandora's Box, a $35 Raspberry Pi, and it doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you're having fun and you're playing the games you want to play, that's all that matters. But there are people out there who hear that FPGA goodness and they want to jump into it, And analog is definitely a choice, but with MiSTer, you're getting such a bargain with just one device, in my opinion. All the different systems it plays. I mean, we've got tons of different consoles, computer systems, arcade, CPS-1, some Sega arcades. So there's lots of classic arcade games that can be played on here that the community, there's specific people out there who have busted their asses to get these cores put together, reverse engineering different arcade boards, systems, all that good stuff, getting that implemented into this little device. I think it's freaking amazing what they have done out there. But with the MiSTer, I mean, we've got FPGA implementation of Super Nintendo, NES, Sega Genesis, including CD systems as well right now. We do have Sega CD and TurboGrafx and PC Engine CD support. You could play all that stuff on here as well, and it works fantastically well. With computers, you've got like the Amiga, the Amstrad, Apple 1 and 2. I mean, the list goes on and on. Commodore VIC-20, MSX, Sinclair. There's tons of stuff. I mean, there's so many different systems, PCs, and different consoles that this supports. With consoles, you have, Atari 2600, 5200, and then including for those people who are looking for like the Analog Pocket and can't get their hands on one, if all you want to do is play some Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, or even Sega Game Gear, this thing's got you covered. Now, yeah, there's going to be certain things that Analog has over MiSTer, as far as like the selection goes, as far as tweaking things with the visuals. I think Analog has that down pat to, your heart's content on how you want to crop things, how you want things to be displayed. MiSTer is, no slouch either, but I do appreciate what Analogue has done with the way their systems work with visual options, that kind of thing. MiSTer, yeah, there's a lot of stuff there too, but I don't think it's quite as robust as what Analogue has done. But for the most part, people they just want to play their games and have it in the original aspect ratio and go. So with MiSTer, you do have all that stuff. You're missing, things like Neo Geo Pocket right now, Atari Lynx, but I would imagine it's only a matter of time before things like that get added to this system. There's been so many things over the past couple years that have been added. All the time there's updates to the different cores, implementing new features, and I think it's a wonderful thing. So if you're really interested in FPGA gaming, getting just down in it, MiSTer is something to look at. Like, it's an option. I'm not saying it's the only option, but I know that FPGA buzzword. There's so many people, even, Polymega got caught up in that a couple years back when they were first talking about their system, and then they didn't implement it, It was more of like, hey, that's what the kids want to hear, FPGA. And it's just kind of crazy. It's more than just a buzzword. If it's implemented properly and it's used well, you can have a fantastic device, and I think MiSTer has definitely shaped up to be a fantastic option for those people who want to have that high accuracy, low latency, FPGA implementation of these retro consoles. It's a great option. So if you're interested in what MiSTer, ultimatemister.com has to offer, I'll put a link in the description. Otherwise, hey, just have fun playing your games. Got a lot more stuff to cover in the future. Just wanted to showcase this actually running, showing some games so you guys can see what this thing does. And I'm always impressed. I've said it quite a bit in the past. Like, if I was ever forced, like I was in a position where I was just so broke and I had to sell off all of my different consoles and, things that I own that I play games off of, MiSTer would be the saving grace for me. Like, I would, like in a heartbeat, if I needed the money, whatever the reason be, I would get rid of these analog consoles. I would get rid of some of my original hardware. And I would just keep MiSTer because it scratches that itch. It does a great job. It does what these analog consoles does, plus more. Essentially, just with those certain things. Like I said, the video options do seem a little bit more robust with the analog consoles versus what's implemented into the MiSTer right now. But hey, it's all great. What else do you guys want to see concerning MiSTer FPGA? It's been a while since I've really dug into it. Maybe I'll start doing some more streams, playing some games on it. Let me know in the comments down below. Really do appreciate you guys. And with that said, I will catch y'all next time. That is if you come back, right? Peace out, bye-bye, and boom. Bye.